Hello, and thank you for joining us for our beach parking workshop. I'm Anne Marie Townsend, the City Manager of Lewis. I'm going to start with an overview of our prior recent history regarding beach parking in Lewis, then talk a little bit about our workshop, and finally talk about our next steps. Thank you for taking the time to join us today. We do appreciate your time, and we look forward to reviewing your feedback. First, I'd like to start by introducing and thanking our project team. This team has been instrumental in putting together ideas on implementing a parking plan for Lewis Beach and for doing the legwork to provide alternatives for you to review today. The City of Lewis has had two beach parking committees in recent years, the first in 2018 and the second in 2020 and 21. Both committees presented recommendation reports to Mayor and City Council. The purpose of today's workshop is not to focus on all of the recommendations in these reports, but rather to focus on those items that relate to developing a parking permit program for the streets on Lewis Beach. The area that we are discussing as we review options for a parking permit program for Lewis Beach is the area along Cedar Street between Savannah Road and Roosevelt Inlet and the associated side streets. Our staff have been working for much of the last year to look at ways that we can develop a permit system, and there are several components to this. First, in order to have an effective parking permit system, we need to bring order to where parking is permitted. To do this, we are reviewing options to identify and physically delineate parking. We also want your feedback on what types of permits make the most sense, both in terms of timing and whether we do a virtual permit using license plate recognition or a hang tag permit. What are the acceptable costs and who should be eligible for permits? Both beach parking committees recommended that the city look at clustering mailboxes. After following up with the United States Postal Service, we would like your feedback on this as well. For each of these components, we have videos with more detail. We have not come to you with a completed project looking for feedback. We have gathered information, reviewed the physical landscape, and developed options for you to consider. The feedback that you provide through this workshop will determine how we design a program to recommend to Mayor and City Council. We had initially planned to have an in-person workshop, but due to the COVID numbers, we have decided to shift to a fully virtual format. There is a series of video presentations and online activities. We ask that you review these before entering one of our live Q&A sessions. We will hold two live Q&A sessions via Zoom on January 18th at 5:15 p.m. and at 7:00 p.m., where we will answer questions you may have about the process. Following this workshop, the website will remain live, and we will continue to accept comments through January 28th. After the workshop closes on January 28th, our staff will review all of the selections and comments submitted, develop a report, and develop a proposed permit system to present to Mayor and City Council at their February meeting. In addition, we will continue to work through other recommendations of the beach parking committees, most notably working with Mayor and City Council to resolve discrepancies between the code and sign locations and to have consistent signage on the streets. We will also continue to keep the public updated on this process and the potential implementation of a permit system. Ultimately, Mayor and City Council will decide if a permit system will be implemented, and if so, how. Your participation in this workshop will help us to make the recommendations to Mayor and City Council that represent your interests. Again, I want to thank you for your participation in the workshop, and we do look forward to talking to you at our live Q&A. Thank you.